Hi, and welcome back to, I guess not welcome back, because you've never been here before and I've never been here before. Welcome to Tried Something New. It's kind of an extension of a blog that I started in quarantine whenever I just kind of wanted like a stress relief, because I really like cooking and I've always liked cooking, and I don't know, you know how like people in your life always tell you that you should do something and you never listen to them. And anyway, so welcome to Tried Something New. Today we're going to be making banana bread. My favorite banana bread. I think a family favorite banana bread, actually. In my house, I don't know if your house is like this, but we go through a lot of bananas. And I guess by go through, I mean we don't go through a lot of them. Like, we always buy them, it's gonna be a good idea, and then, you know, by the end of the week they're starting to brown, and then I end up with a stockpile of bananas in the freezer. So anyway, now we will start making our banana bread. I gotta go get the ship for it, so I'll be right back. I don't know. I think I have this memorized, but I guess we'll see. Oh, eggs. All of the eggs and dairy. Yeah, here. I think that's everything. And if it's not, I guess I'll get it. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to mix your eggs and your sugar together. This is a recipe, I think it's called Flour's Famous Banana Bread. I've like changed it a little bit, but it's really all Flour's Famous Banana Bread. So I'll post like a little post and have the recipe on the website, but also you can search Flour's Famous Banana Bread and you should be able to find it. I think it's a restaurant. I probably should know more about this recipe because I've made it so many times, but all I know is that it's good. You know, oh my god, look at this. Look, how cute. I got this at Anthropology and it holds eggs. I'm getting the move on, so I'll move on from the egg holder, but please know that it is cute. And I know that you think it is too, so please sound off in the comments below to let my husband know that it do in fact be cute. There's a cup, I think the original recipe says like a cup and 2 tablespoons of sugar. What?
Oh. Wipe your hands. We're not teaching these kids to be nasty and touching their shit with egg all over their hands.
It was just a little egg, but...
And on the camera.
What?
Egg on the camera too.
Oh. Well. Ta-da! Anyway, this recipe had, originally it's like a cup, and I think it's 2 tablespoons of sugar. I really honestly don't think the 2 tablespoons makes that big of a difference, personally, and we're gonna put more sugar on top anyway, so I don't really think that you're missing out. So, can you hear those dogs barking? I'm sorry, it's my neighbors. I wish that I like had a little studio, but we're just at our house. Alright, so we're gonna mix this together. Lock your mixer, because I never do, and then it goes everywhere. And I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. You wanna whip it, I mean, probably for about like 5 minutes. You can do all this by hand, by the way, but I just don't have, like, I don't go to the gym, so why would I exercise at home? But, I mean, again, you know, just make sure to alternate arms so that way you don't get like one really big arm. So I'll see you in about 5 minutes. You want to start off slow, and you know, scrape down the bowl, you know. Or if you don't, scrape down the bowl. You want it to be really light and fluffy in color. So you probably can't hear what I'm saying because we don't have a good mic system yet, but this is just video number 1. You wait. You wait. Okay, so you've got your taking a pause, right? We're scraping down our bowl, sort of, trying not to get it all over. And as I say that, I'm currently getting it all over myself. If you were looking for content to teach you how to cook in a really neat and precise way and keep clean, this unfortunately is not the place. But if you do know the place or have any resources, feel free to leave them in the comments below so that way I can maybe learn how not to get stuff all over me. Okay, so we are going to continue whipping. You want to look for something that is light and fluffy in consistency, and so we're not quite there yet. So we probably need, I don't know, another 2 minutes or so and we'll be good to go. So I'll be back. Locking it and loading. So we're at a pretty good place here. We've got this nice ribbony consistency. It's very well combined. So now at this point, you want to add in your oil, whatever oil you're using. So it's a half a cup of oil. I have this Earth Balance butter. I have a friend who's vegan, and so I bought it to make something for her when she came over for dinner. I just keep trying to find uses for it. I'm gonna melt this in, and it can be salt. You can use coconut oil here. This is not a gluten-free, dairy-free recipe. Obviously, I just use eggs, and we're gonna use flour. But I don't know. You could probably, if you use I don't know, maybe eggs instead, you might be able to. Not eggs. If you used applesauce maybe instead, or you could probably use an egg substitute, or I feel maybe even aquafaba would be really good as a substitute. I haven't not tried any of these because I'm not vegan, but different strokes. All right, this is hot because I microwaved it too long, so just be very, very careful when you're pouring it into these eggs so you don't scramble them if yours is hot. Oh, there's also not, sorry. I'm gonna have to melt more. But the good news is that it's so hot that this cold butter is probably gonna cool it down. I'm learning, obviously, we're learning together here. You're learning how to make banana bread, and I'm learning how to film cooking videos for the internet. That I probably should have pre-measured a lot of this, and then I would save myself a lot of grief, but for you, it's gonna feel like seconds, so enjoy that. Just stir this around. I think, ultimately my hope for this channel, this endeavor, whatever, is that this is just a fun place where you can come, you can hang out, we can make some good food. If you want to make the recipes, great. If you don't, you just want to watch, that's great too. But, here we go. And if there's anything that you want to see, you have a request for, if there's a cookbook that you want reviewed, I have a ton of them. And I've been cooking as a home cook for a long time. So anyway, so now we're going to slowly add in this now slightly cooled butter into our mix. So, okay, did you know, I don't know if you can hear me, but on these mixers, you have more speeds than just, what is it? Stir to 10. If you push down, you get these fine adjustments. I had no idea. Isn't that amazing? I think it's amazing. Okay, and so now we want to add our vanilla. I personally like a lot of vanilla. I'm gonna put a tablespoon of vanilla in because I really like vanilla. You want to do 2 tablespoons. I think that the recipe calls for creme fraiche, which you can really only ever find at high-end grocery stores or Trader Joe's. Oh, my dog's sneezing. So I usually use sour cream. I have creme fraiche in there, but I'm not going to open it for this. Sour cream is a good option. plain unsweetened yogurt. You could probably use sweetened yogurt, but just dial back on the sugar if that's all you have. I think, you know, my philosophy, at least on cooking, is like it should just be fun and it should be easy, and you know, there aren't that many rules, and so you can figure out the rules. You gotta figure out how to have fun in the process. So I hope that's what you take away from this, and I hope that you have a good time. So I'm mixing in the vanilla and the sour cream into our egg, sugar, and oil mixture, and then we'll add our dry ingredients. And it just needs like a quick blitz, you know, it's pretty liquid in there. Before we add our dry ingredients, we obviously need to add bananas because we're making banana bread. I mean, this is still like partially frozen. It's been out for a bit. I find it doesn't really make that big a difference, but you know, obviously do what you want. Plan ahead and better if you want. And then I just peel this whole thing in there. I know it doesn't look very like appetizing, but like the more like rotted and gutted your bananas are to the point where they're still safe to eat, the better. The bread, it really needs to taste like bananas. It can't be like, you know, the suggestion of banana. It needs to be like whole banana. This might be like controversial in the banana bread world. I really like chocolate chips in my banana bread. Some people like nuts, some people don't like anything. You can add whatever you want. I think my only suggestion would be, I guess I'll just show you. But you can add whatever you want. It's your banana bread, okay? Make it how you want it. I'm making my banana bread how I like it. You make yours how you want it. We're gonna do 1 2/3 cup of flour. And then we're gonna do a teaspoon, a teaspoon of our baking powder. And you want like 1/2 teaspoon of salt. If all you have is table salt, fine. Just don't use 1/2 teaspoon, use maybe like 1/4. And now we're gonna add some cinnamon. You can use ground cinnamon or you can grate your own. I like to grate my own personally, which I know is a little obnoxious, but I do think it makes a big difference. We're almost ready to bake. Oh shit, I forgot to preheat my oven. That's probably the thing that you should do first, is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. This is gonna bake for an hour. Okay, so I turned on my oven. I probably should have preheated at the beginning, but you know what? Life happens, and this banana bread is still gonna get made, and it's gonna get ate. So, whatever. Do yourself a favor and just start slow. Okay, so now we have something that looks pretty good. Just toss that back in there. We are nearly done. All right, last but certainly not least, this is kind of a silly step, but it's worth it. So go and get, and you want to add in your chocolate chips. You can add however many you want. I really like chocolate and banana. I think it's great. If you don't, unsubscribe. Don't put it in there. But if you don't like them, just don't use them. It's that simple. And still make the banana bread. It's good. It's a good recipe. Okay, so now that you've got these measured out, I have flour somewhere. I'm gonna put it. Oh, here it is. So now that you have it measured out, just take like ever so slightly. Like look at that. Like I said, it's a whisper of flour. Okay, and you want to just like dump it on like so. Okay, and then just like get in there and toss them. Okay, and so what that's gonna do is it's gonna keep them from sinking to the bottom when you bake, which of course you want. Okay, so I've got my prepared pan here. It doesn't cover the bottom, but it covers most of the bottom, so that's good enough in my book. All right, so now we are entering here. I think it's probably important to note here, while we're talking about bake time, that if your bananas were like frozen solid, if you forgot to take them out, that's okay. It's just gonna take longer to bake, you know? So like if you've got to go to like Timmy's soccer game or something in an hour, just put this whole bitch in the fridge because you're not gonna have time to bake it, girl. If you wanna be very fancy, you can take a bread knife. Oh, bitch, see, I told you it doesn't matter if you didn't preheat at the start because that bitch gets hot regardless. It just might take a little bit longer. So anyway, you can take a butter knife. So you're gonna take a butter knife, and what you wanna do, here, I'll try to hold it up, is you just wanna like run it through the center there. And do you see how this like line that's formed? The hope is that when you bake your banana bread, that's where it's gonna split. If you're like an aesthetics person and you know, I don't know, maybe you're giving this as a gift or something, I don't know. And as you can see, look, like we've got a good distribution of banana, or not, well, banana obviously because it's banana bread, but you've got a good distribution of chocolate chips, you've got some on top, some all the way through, and when you slice it, you'll see what I mean, you'll have like a very well mixed banana bread. So I'm gonna put this in the oven for probably an hour, and we'll be back and I will show you what it looks like. So, got 7 minutes left, but I wanted to show you kind of what we're looking at here. So we've got a nice crack where we've split it, but if you look, you see how shiny that is? You don't want it to be shiny. And see how it kind of bounces a little. You probably can't, but see how it's kind of bouncing? You don't want that. So it's not ready yet. It's gonna be pretty dark, probably darker than you think, but just let it bake, get it really dark, and I'll show you what it looks like when it is done. Okay, we've got our banana bread. Look at her. Oh my god, get in there, look at that. She's golden brown, okay? And look at that line. Do you notice? It's like perfectly split. That's the butter knife. Okay, so it's been sitting on this wire rack. And just so you know, if you grease your pan, and then you line it with parchment, you get like this nice little, you get these nice little handles, and then you just, bloop, and it lifts right out. And then, you know, your pan is pretty clean. So you've got your loaf. Mine's like warm, you know, it's not hot. I love to just eat it when it's hot because I think there's literally nothing better than a warm loaf of banana bread, but I suppose you could let it cool if you're a monster. And you get a little bread knife here and slice off. I like a pretty thick piece, but you know, my grandma's diabetic and she would probably have a thinner piece. So really, I mean, at this point, this is your banana bread. Okay, you can do whatever you want. If you are just really feeling it, because again, this is cake. Like if you're eating this and you're like, this is bread and this is whatever, you're wrong. It's a cake, okay? Fight me in the comments below, it's a cake. And so I feel like if it's giving me cake vibes, I wanna take it all the way. So I really like having just a little bit of butter on my toast, bread, etc. If you toast it, like you can slice a hunk off and toast it a little bit in like a toaster oven or an oven or a toaster, I guess, if you have one that'll do like thick slices. And then you just give it a little schmear, and then it's yours. It's just really fucking good, you know? So, I hope you make this. Like and subscribe if you want more videos like this. And if there's anything that you guys want to see, or cookbooks you want me to review, or really anything else, just let me know. I hope you have a good day.